So let's start. Anyone who's joining for the first time, not the people who have been here. If you're joining for the first time, let us know where you're joining from. If you've been joining, it's fine. We know where you're joining from. But if you're joining for the first time, let us know where you're joining from. So sometimes my screen can go somewhere, but yeah, where you United Kingdom, where else? Where else? Yeah, Uyo, beautiful, Abuja, lovely, Lagos, beautiful. Some new people joining South Africa, Asaba. Awesome. Nairobi. Oh my goodness. Enugu. Go on, go on. If you're joining for the first time, where are you joining from? Lagos. Lagos. Where else? Where else? Beautiful. Lovely. Abuja. Lovely, 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 lovely. Oh, yeah, Napa. Absolutely. Johannesburg, Canada. Oh, yeah. AOJ, I see you there. So awesome, awesome, awesome. Now, today will be a bit different, but before I go into that, I will also like to ask a question, and I'm going to check the answers in the chat right now. So far, how would you define success? And how would you define significance? What is success? What is significance? We have been listening to two amazing, amazing people. We have listened to two amazing people. Now I want us to begin to bring these things home. You would find the teacher and me talking there. What is success? We've listened to people, we've engaged with this for 2 days. What is success? What is significance? Anybody, I would love to see in the chat what it means to you thus far. Anybody? 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 I'm waiting for responses. What is success? What is significance? I can't see any answer, which maybe validates what I'm doing today. Any answers? I hope people can hear me.
We can.
Yeah, success is who you become. Okay, interesting. Anybody else? What is success? What is significance? Success to me is according to Joshua 1:8. Beautiful. Please go ahead. What is success? What is success? Success, the accomplishment of an aim or purpose. I love that. Significance is about impact, contribution, and legacy. Significance is impact. Lovely. Success is fulfillment. Beautiful. Lovely. Can I see some more, please? What is success? What is significance? Just a few more. A few more answers. Success is achievement, significance is legacy and impact. This is awesome. Please clap for yourselves. I'm going to delve more into this topic today. And I am not going to do exactly what the other two speakers have done because I'm going to just approach it in a different way. But since I'm the host and I cannot interview myself, co-hosting with me today would be my son. My first son to the glory of God, and he's the COO of the Meadowhall Group in its entirety. And he will be the one interviewing or discussing and hosting with me, co-hosting with me today. That would lead me into what I have for you today. So over to you, Mr. Wani.
Okay, okay. Good day, everyone. Good day, everyone. It's great to be here, and it's great to be a part of this amazing learning experience. So I just want to, first of all, thank Mrs. Dr. Wani, Dr. Wani. Everybody forgive me. I've never called this woman Dr. Wani my whole life. So if there are moments I call her mom or Mrs. Wani or anything, please just forgive me. Um, okay, okay. So as she mentioned, as a teacher for so many years, like she's going to be approaching today's topic and this whole learning experience in a different way. So it's going to be her teaching and telling us her story through pictures. So not just, telling her story alone, but telling us that story through pictures. But I think before we start, as she did with other people, I think we're going to do some quick fire questions for Dr.
Here we
Wani as
go.
well. So we can get to know her a bit better. So yeah, we're gonna start with some of that now. So the
Okay.
first one, very dear to my heart, Man United or Arsenal?
You converted me to being a Man United fan. I don't know if I'm still a Man United fan
You can
anymore.
you can you can never leave. You can never leave. So are you an early bird or would you say you're a night owl?
Night owl.
Would you rather delegate or do it yourself?
Hmm. I think I'm actually very good at delegating. I'm
Okay.
very good at it. But after training and then I delegate, it's a strength for me.
Okay. Innovate or improve?
Gosh, both. Both. But to be
Okay.
honest, I like building on ideas a
Okay.
lot, but I also like to think creatively and innovate. So I'll say both.
Okay.
I'll say both.
Would you challenge the process or follow the system?
Challenge the process. I am very, I believe in challenging. I don't follow the status quo at all. And I think it's the creativity in me. I don't think the same way most people think.
Okay. Inspire or instruct? I think I know this one.
Inspire.
Of course. So as a leader, consensus decision or executive decision?
Hmm. Interesting. Um, both.
Okay.
Both.
Okay.
I would, yeah, I like to involve people, but there are times that, after listening to everybody, we need to move forward. So as a transformational leader, I listen, you bring in everybody, but then at the end of the day, you still have to, yeah, to go one way or the other. But
Okay.
after listening to others, sorry, I shouldn't be explaining. I told other
It's
people
okay.
not to explain.
Um, Visionary or executor?
Both. Um, you know me, I'm the
Yeah.
visionary to the core, but I
Okay.
also like to execute, but maybe more visionary. I'm a big picture person, and then I get people who have been trained to carry it on.
Okay. So I have two more for you. Would you rather hire someone for their skill or their attitude?
Emeka, why are you giving me this
That's a
tough
tough one.
ones?
That's a tough one.
It is. It is. Honestly, in the at the beginning of my organization, I would probably just have hired just for attitude. And people say it all the time. Your attitude is will take you to your altitude and all that. But the truth is now I do both. I do both. I don't see why I can't get both because I
Yeah.
am both. So I would look at, high for attitude. You can teach people, but sometimes you just, when you don't have it, you don't have it. You can't give what you don't have. So they're
Okay.
both important to me.
Okay. Okay. So last one, very important. As your first son, who is your favorite child? Okay, joking. Um,
Oh my
so
God.
thank you so much for your answers. So I think we can start with the presentation.
Thank you so much. That was interesting. Thank you for making me relax a bit because when you're on the hot seat, nobody really knows what it's like. So yeah, today, as Emeka said, I'm going to be presenting in a different way. The Bible, somewhere in the Bible says, I give to you what I have, I give unto you. I'm a teacher. And another reason I'm presenting this way, I wanted to present to you in a visual manner how we can move from success to significance. I also have this faint feeling that a lot of us have enjoyed the past 2 days. Very inspiring. Oh, it was excellent. But when I said, what is success? What is significance? Very few answers. And being an educator, I understand that fully, where you can learn and it seems you understand it. But when it comes to actually being able to express it and to use it, it becomes a problem. That is why I'm approaching my own presentation this way. What is significance? I asked that question. And even though people were able to say a few things about success, very few were able to still talk about what significance is based on what we've been listening to. Now, everything we have heard from how Otto moved from the little beginnings of just, working with a few students and all that to becoming a change maker. He's into systems change and things like that. Or how Audrey moved from when she started to where she is today. I would be answering this question from a position that's very clear to me. What is significance? I would answer that question by saying, to me, Kehinde Wani, significance actually comes from alignment with purpose. Significance comes from living your life in alignment with why you are here. That is what I believe brings significance. As I said, I feel that a picture would say is worth 1,000 words. So I'm going to go through my life journey using pictures. Now, my story won't be new to several people here because a lot of people here are people I know. And so they kind of know my story. But what I want you to direct your thoughts on as I tell the story is the journey. So I would call that the story behind the story. I'm going to be taking you through that story, but how does it link with what we're discussing? How did the journey move from success to significance? So don't zero in so much on the story that you might know, but on the journey. I will be talking to you again, even if you know my story, you know that the link between success and significance is focus. And also, you don't even know what I'm doing now. So there's still impact multiplication in line with my purpose. So please just stay with me to the end. And I'm going to be asking you to do a lot of reflections. You remember, today is not just inspirational. Today, we are going to be doing some work. We are going to be doing some work as well. So my story begins. 1 minute, please. Okay. So yeah, it's so interesting because of course, I've lived my life I've spent at least over half of my life already. And the other day I was reading a book and I came across this roadmap. And it was so on point for me. It's like you're looking back and you can actually see your journey through this purpose map developed by a lady called Marshawn Evans Daniel. It was just that I could see every stage I'd passed through in this purpose map. And again, what I'm trying to do today is to give you a guide. How do you move from success or even before success to significance? It's not just being inspired by other people. How do you do it? How did I do it? How did Audrey do it? How did Otto do it? How did Steyewande do it? How did Udo do it? That's what I'm going to be doing. So I found this purpose map and I was blown away because it just spoke to my own journey. And I'm going to be building on this. This purpose map says we usually move from one level to the other. Discovery is where we start. Now, let me say something here. It's not age related. Some people will discover themselves much later. Some people by Audrey's mentioned yesterday, she said by age 14, she knew she wanted to be an entrepreneur. She knew she wasn't going to work for anybody. So it's not age related. I feel it's just the intentionality that most of the time, a lot of us don't focus on these things, purpose related, and we're just, we're chopping life. We're just having fun or just, taking it day as it comes. So it starts from discovery. It leads to talent. I'm going to tell you this through my story, which is where we have been talking about that talent area. Audrey was saying yesterday, discovery area for her would be when she said she started with a lot of like selling meat pie. She will do contracts, supply, stationery, cleaning materials. That was discovery. And then she got to the talent where she realized she had a burning bush moment where she realized that the gas industry was where the Lord was leading her to. She told us about some life experiences that could be several things. And I'm going to bring all these things to life. And then you will get to where you understand without a doubt what your gifts are and the difference between your talents and your gifts, which is what will lead you to higher levels of influence, much more than you found in the talent area, which I dare say is where purpose sits and significance happens. So this is a roadmap of how we go from success to significance. Stay with me. I'm going to be asking you to do a lot of reflection. So my journey, discovery stage. The question we're asking ourselves, I'm searching, is the I'm searching stage. And for me, it was searching. I'd studied law. I practiced law for 14 years. And I know a lot of my colleagues are here. Shout out to you, my darling colleagues, learned colleagues. Some are sons now, some are judges. We're in school together. We studied law. I studied law. But I kept searching. This discovery stage, as a lawyer, I was doing some other things. There was a time I had a water tanker. In VI, I would supply water as Audrey, was selling, she was doing contracts. She was doing, meat pie. She talked about video. It's the discovery level where we're searching. I had a water tanker. I would supply water. As a lawyer, I was a lawyer then. I started a boutique. I loved fashion, and I started like a business, a clothes business. It was a boutique. Awolowo Road, 88 Awolowo Road. I kept searching. I wasn't enjoying it, but I was kind of drawn. Looking back, I was kind of drawn to entrepreneurship. But I wasn't enjoying it. I was selling. I didn't quite enjoy it. I remember at that time, I was never really proud to say, I would rather say, I'm a lawyer. At that time, discovery level, you are searching. And as I'm going on, as I've said to you, you will be doing a bit of work. We're not going to be just passive learners all through and just being inspired. It is time to do some active learning as well. So at this stage, I want you to connect to this wherever you are. I am a leader of leaders. I train leaders. So you might have gone past some of this But this gives you the words, the language, the tools to train other people, to train your children, to help other people be under you, to learn. It is a very valid stage when we're asking questions. We like it or not. All of us pass through it. When you're becoming more self-aware, you're beginning to discover your passions, your interests. But you discover those things by doing something. You don't sit at home and just think that, okay, the light bulb moment will just come. No. So that is the discovery stage, according to Marshawn Evans. And looking at my life, it was so true. Reflection. Where are you in this? Are you now sure? It was during this period that it became clear to me that law wasn't my thing. And I would explain the reason later on when I get to gifts. It was during this period of searching that I realized that I went into uni actually to study education, but I changed to law because the society made me feel that education wasn't the way to go. So it was during the discovery moment or stage that I realized that, maybe law isn't really my purpose. Remember, I said significance is alignment with purpose. So I go to the talent area, talent stage. This was the beginning of Meadowhall. I remember this day so clearly. We were having grandparents' day. And that was a grandmother there talking to a grandfather there. This was where it all started. And I remember even when I started in business or entrepreneurship, we call something the testing phase or the experimentation phase. We don't just go into everything. I remember I started from infant school up to year 3. I did not go all the way up. I was testing the waters because remember, I'd been trying to discover. And at some point in time, I realized where my talent, I could realize where my talent lies. And that I went into this. These pictures bring back a lot of memories. As Emeka said, I'm telling this story through pictures. I see at least 2 people in the picture, on the bottom picture on the left, my dear friend Shade Lanio Jedokun. She's gone to be with the Lord. Our very first principal, Mrs. Ogunshola, she's gone to be with the Lord. And this was where it all started. I was testing the waters. I realized that actually I loved education. I was passionate about education. I was passionate about teaching. I started to study some more. Now, let me say this. When you find that talent, what do you do with it? It's only a talent, it's a seed. Talent is what you are good at. When you have found that talent, I'm asking you, what have you done with it? Did you develop it? Remember, I started off as a lawyer. When I found my talent, what did I do? I started to develop it. I started to study. I started from Montessori all the way to PGC, to master's, up to a PhD. I started to hone my skills. Because some people might, even as we were looking at yesterday, might be thinking, yeah, I'm in the talent stage, but I'm not even smelling success yet. What's going on? And my question is, what are you doing with the talent? Are you sitting on it? Are you developing yourself? Are you advancing in it? Are you growing in it? Are you the kind of person that if your organization doesn't send you for any training, you are not going? Are you learning both informally and formally? That's the talent stage. So I started with this stage. Sorry, I'll be turning to my notes. This is not about correctness. I want to teach you how to use these tools. I started with this stage, and yeah, the question you're asking yourself at this stage is, how far can I go? How far can I go? How high can I climb? I had to share this picture. Some of the people online, my people that we started together, I'm sure they look at it and they're like, wow, this was 1 year after we started Meadowhall. Yinka Obafisoye, our present head of school, she's the one on the right. She was, I think, half her size at the time. There's Chinyere Okorocha there. She was the parent, and so many. Rita Ekpeyong, a lot of people. 1 year we went to church to have a Thanksgiving after 1 year of starting Meadowhall. So at the beginning, you are testing the waters. You are measuring impact. You are progressing. You are growing. You are learning. And if you do that, what will happen will be expansion, where talent will meet opportunities, which is what happened to me. Talent met opportunities. As I grew and learned and developed, there were opportunities that came. An acquisition opportunity came. And I was able to acquire that particular institution because the founders realized that I wasn't just an entrepreneur. I knew it was the baby, and they weren't just going to hand it over to anybody. They knew that not only, could I take over and run the place, they knew I had the knowledge. And immediately I got there, I knew what was to do. So with talent, developing yourself, there will be opportunities for growth that would come, which is what brings visibility. It brings success. Are you getting the drift? So discovery, when you play your cards right on the talent level, you will succeed. Your work will speak for you. You become more visible, because there's a saying that nobody argues with results. It is said that results are magnetic. Nobody can say what is there is there. Nobody can argue with it. So when you are at the stage of talent, when you play your cards right, trust me, visibility would come. Expansion opportunities will come. Scale will come. All the things that would add up to make you successful would come. At the stage of talent, I began to expand and scale. I scaled, I found out that there were many gaps. And that was actually the entrepreneurial thinking. There were many gaps I could fill. And before then, the Lord had given me, I won't say a vision, but I'll say a vision. It was like a horizontal thing that where we're going to get to. It was horizontal. It was horizontal and vertical, like a cross. So I didn't see a cross, but I saw, he mentioned to me, we will grow horizontally and we'll go vertically, which to me looks like a cross. So the horizontal growth would be what I do with children, with schools and teachers on that level, horizontal. And then the vertical growth was when we went into tertiary, where, because I've always been passionate about teacher development, we set up a college of education. And then I went gradually into leadership, where I have, platforms that train leaders. So leadership, tertiary, and then the group. Growth, scale. But this also helped to bring visibility because we had gone beyond just a school. Talent area. My question is, what are you doing in this area? Let me tell you where the problem is, where it lies. A lot of us stop here, as I've mentioned, day after day. We believe that once the money starts coming in, once the title changes, Emeka said a lot of people say Mrs. Wani and I'm Mrs. Wani, but the title changes to doctor, to professor, to engineer. We begin to lose focus. We begin to believe that success is the destination. The money is coming in. We're climbing what I call the money mountain. You've built a strong brand. People know your brand. They know you. You begin to enjoy the dividends of your hard work. And you lose sight of the fact that success is supposed to be a means to an end, not an end in itself, which is why it can never satisfy fully. But it's a prerequisite for significance. So we cannot overlook it or demonize it. Why would you listen to Audrey? Why would you listen to Otto? Why would you listen to me? Why would you listen to Udo? Why would you listen to you and Zacchaeus? If we have never done anything to make you feel, okay, wow, okay, let's see what they've got to offer. This is where a lot of people are, I dare say. We're making money. We enjoy it because it's a talent area. We enjoy what we do. You've learned it. Here, my talent will be education, will be teaching, will be to be leadership. I've gone to school for it. I've trained in it. I enjoy those things. So then, what then happens after years of staying in the talent area? This happens most of the time. Okay, this is not, okay, this part, I put it there because it's interesting that even while I was in the discovery mode and while I was functioning in the talent area, there were already hidden signs of significance. Times of refreshing, I started over 20-something years ago. I mentioned it yesterday when I felt the Lord saying, while I was waiting between my first child and my second child, there's 8 years, I felt the Lord saying, go and do good to people. That when you have the goods of this world, He says, go and love in deed and in truth. So I started times of refreshing. We would go to hospitals to teach. When we go to hospitals, like you see, ABL, we will go to hospitals, we would teach them the word of God, we pray with them. All these things are important because when I get to gift, you would understand. I started Meadowhall Foundation. These are things I wasn't going to be paid for, but there were already hidden patterns. And it's such an important point because we miss the hidden patterns that actually point us towards purpose. We're not aware of those things. We just live. We're not, registering those patterns. Again, with hindsight, I can see the signs God had given me in terms of where He was taking me to. That's why I put this picture here. Now, after talent, I'm going to stop for a minute. Can you hear me? Are we learning? Can you unmute and just tell me, yes, I'm lost. I need you to go back.
Yes.
Yes, we're
Learning.
learning. Yes,
I can hear you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
I
so
can
much.
hear
Yes,
you.
we're
I
learning.
can
much,
hear you
ma'am.
Thank
clearly.
you. All right.
Thank
then.
you, ma'am.
All right. So then, after many, many years of talents, using your talent, enjoying it and all, this is what happens most of the time. You become restless. Audrey mentioned it yesterday. I love the statement she made. I hope I can find it. Oh gosh. She says, when your default is to dispense value, you will no longer be comfortable in the places you were comfortable in. After a while, you become restless. This is what happened to me prior to 2023. You know, I became restless. I'll be wondering, is this all? You know, and I would battle with myself. Is this not ingratitude? Because to the glory of God, I was doing quite well. The Lord was helping me. My organizations were growing, more visibility. You know, things were good. But I kept feeling this restlessness. That is this all. I remember speaking to one of my mentors, Mrs. Toki Mabogunja, an amazing lady, that says, there's just something. I couldn't put my finger on it, but I was questioning that is there more? And then I would beat myself up because I'm thinking, Kenny, is this not ambition? Is this not over ambition? What do you want to do? You know, that happens a lot. You begin to question things. In fact, I've heard people say in the past, and somebody said to me once that people who keep going like this, that there's something wrong in their lives. Maybe their marriage or there's something. There was nothing wrong in my life. It was just God. The burning bush experience is that period of shift, because I told you, start with discovery, then you go into talent, success. Then God will make sure there's a shift. There's a transitioning that must happen. It can be anything that it can just be the questioning and the restlessness, and is able to talk to you. For me, when this really, what really drove it home was 2023. 2023 was one of those years for me that was quite challenging. I lost two very close loved ones in the same year. It was tough. It was tough. Here was I already restless. Then the loss of two very close loved ones. Then 2023, my daughter was going to come to uni in the US. And then my son, my second son, was already here. He was rounding up his course and was going to start his business and all that. So I decided, because again, when we talk about success, it depends on what success means to you. For some people, success is the money. For some people, it's family. It's how your children turn out. It can be anything. It doesn't have to be one thing. So for me at that time, the restlessness, the loss, and I realized that my children needed me. America is not like the UK, that you can fly 6 hours and you're there. My daughter is in California. And I decided I needed to take a sabbatical. It was time for me to be mom. That was my burning bush experience. And what did it lead to? It led to reinvention. It was a beautiful time. You know, during this time, I have this time of the day that I call hanging out with Jesus. I spend time in his bosom. Sometimes I'm playing Nathaniel Bassey, I'm listening to a message, I would drift up, sleep in his presence, wake up. I was downloading things. It doesn't have to, you don't have to go away to be able to do this. Audrey mentioned yesterday, she was just going through, I don't know, I think she went somewhere and it struck her that no, it's gas that she's supposed to be into. For me, this period led to me identifying purpose and gifts. And I want to encourage everyone listening to me. You all have to put words to it. Some of us already have an idea, but do you have the words? Have you expressed this? Have you written it anywhere? The Bible says, write down the vision that he may run that reads it. Research says whatever you do not put down, more 90%, people who put their visions down, 90% of the time they fulfill it. When you have it in my mind somewhere, I know you are not going to achieve it. During this time, the reinvention happened in that period of transition, of shift. And God made things so clear to me, which is why every time we're talking since Monday, I will say to you, I know that significance is tied to purpose. It's a fire in my belly that I need to let people understand that we're here for a reason. I mentioned yesterday, I heard somebody say something, said we come with nothing. We leave with nothing. He said, surely the time in between, there must be something you're here for. Because if we come with nothing, you're living with nothing. Why are we here? Why really are we here? And it was during this burning bush experience, my reinvention time, that God made things so clear to me. We all have a universal purpose, no matter what your faith is, except you're an atheist. If you're Muslim, Christian, whatever your faith, you would understand there's a universal purpose for us to be here. That's why you exist. That is what, when we say purpose, that is what we're talking about. There's a universal purpose why you are here. Between nothing and nothing, you are here for a reason. And that universal purpose for anyone that believes there's a higher being is to glorify God, to worship him in whatever you are doing. Your life becomes worship. So as a wife, I worship God. As a mother, I'm focused on glorifying God. In my career, yesterday somebody talked about, sometimes when you work with people who are not people of faith, and I mentioned, even if they're not people of faith, they are what we call moral virtues. You can still approach things through that. Everything you do should be at the back of your mind. You should be asking yourself, does this fulfill the purpose for which I'm here? In between nothing and nothing? Why do you exist? That is the universal purpose. Now, the next point there is what we'll call the design purpose or life's purpose. Because yes, we're going to glorify God, but how? How? So that is what we normally refer to as purpose. We're talking about your life's purpose. Simply means, how are you wired? Nobody came to this earth with nothing. God has put something in everybody's lives to make sure that you end up glorifying him. We said yesterday, men will see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven. Everybody has a life's purpose. We don't, we like to say we're finding purpose. Nobody finds purpose. What we're doing is uncovering it. It's there. You are not reinventing it. It's there. It's in hidden patterns. Life's purpose. Why are you wired the way you are? And it was in this beautiful time, HOWJ, hanging out with Jesus, that all these things became so clear to me. I also had a lot of opportunity to read a lot extensively during this sabbatical. And I came to understand what my life's purpose is, which was so confusing before. Is it teaching that's my life's purpose? Is it? No, those are expressions. I came to realize that my purpose is actually growing, cultivating, developing people's potential. That is what I'm here to do. I'm not just a teacher. I use teaching as a tool because when people come near me, around me, I can see, it's just a gift. I can see where they can get to, even when they can't see it. So I realized that that was the tool God was going to use for me to glorify him. So I cultivate human potential by helping people grow in what I call USCL. I love acronyms a lot. To grow in understanding, purpose, clarity, mindset, just that understanding. I cultivate it. I help people grow in that. I help people grow in skill. And that's why I have so many organizations. I help people grow in confidence, because when you know why you're here, you are confident in who you are. I help people grow in leadership. I have a calling towards leadership. I do not believe leadership is positional. I think leadership is a mindset. Everybody leads somebody, and everybody follows somebody. That is my wiring. I'm here to cultivate people's potential. Now, what are my gifts then? Because you remember with the framework I shared at the beginning, it's discovery, talent, the shift or transition. Then stage 4 is your gift, which I'm going to go and just quickly share. I'm sharing with you what I learned during my own sabbatical. Now, my gift is very clear to me now. It's a developmental gift. It now makes sense why law wasn't my thing. Because it's not law. I'm representing people, helping people still, but it's not I'm not developing their potential, my clients. Now it all began to make sense. My gift is developmental. I develop people. I develop institutions. I develop leadership. That's my grace, because where your gift is, you are graced for it. Now, that gift finds expression through what I do, through teaching, through training, through coaching, through mentorship, through leadership formation. That is how I express my gift. So when we say my gift is teaching, it's a talent. But what actually the gift is for me is developing people. I cultivate human potential. Now, what is my calling? Your calling is where your gift is most needed, and it differs for different people. Whatever, it depends on what your gifts are. So for me, I know I'm so passionate about women's initiative and just helping women know that we can do this. We can do this. We can. I'm called to leaders. I'm called to educators. I'm called to founders, entrepreneurs. I'm called to institutions, but those that multiply human potential. I'm not called to the bank. I'm not called to law. But any institution where it could be a leadership institute, it can be a school, it can be anywhere that human potential is being developed, that's where you find me, future generations. So everybody, the assignment I've given you, remember I'm a teacher, I'm teaching you today, everybody must be able to put words to their universal purpose. If you don't agree that is to glorify God, maybe for you something else, but it's a universal purpose, because really everybody should understand that between nothing and nothing, there's a reason you're here. Everybody must know their life's purpose. How are you wired? What is that thing? Everybody must then identify their gifts, because how you are wired has to flow out through your gifts. And then your calling. Who are you called to? So I go back to gifts. That's the 4th stage in the roadmap I gave you at the beginning. Now it all began to make sense. Now I understand why, if I'm teaching in the classroom with students, it is developing human potential. When I am training teachers, Education 2030, I'm developing human potential. When I'm teaching leaders of organizations, where I'm wearing green, I was a leadership program, I'm developing human potential. As provost of Meadowhall College of Education, working with students and all that, I am developing human potential. When I'm coaching, mentoring, I am developing human potential. When up here, you would see the first picture, my leadership pipeline. I'm very passionate about succession planning. And actually, we'll be talking about that a lot more tomorrow. And if I had not spent time doing that, I couldn't have gone on any sabbatical. So key also understanding. Somebody please mute.
That's when we're done.
Very mute. So if it's developing a pipeline in my organizations for succession, and when I talk succession, I don't talk about succession for the owner alone. I'm talking about succession for key roles. Because if you have a successor, but the key roles in your organization, you didn't prepare anybody for. Whatever the key roles you identify, you're still as good as not having any succession plan. Developing so that is my gift. And my question, as I'm asking you to reflect, is have you identified yours? Because I dare say this is what will take you to significance. This is what will take you to influence, elevated influence. Because I understood that, I've been doing ABL, A Beautiful Life, is my mentorship initiative for women for 10 years. Because I have that understanding, it's grown, multiplied. Now we're having strategic partnerships. You know, there's this lady, a beautiful, amazing lady, Sonia Jackson Miles, here in the US. She's here. We're partnered with Sister Accord, multiplying influence. Because I now understand why I'm here, and my gift is developmental. I literally, we had a soft launch of the Becoming Network. And the idea behind Becoming Network is this: to prepare women to thrive in career, business, and leadership. There are several programs under that, but the point is that I now know, and it is a massive project. But that is what happens when you find that gift, when you understand leadership and you understand significance. Influence for me is now doing my one-on-one coaching and mentorship initiatives. Sorry, I have some spelling things going on here. Influence, where I'm comfortable stepping into my coaching training with John Maxwell and mentorship initiatives. When you are in your space, there will be impacts. How many can I put here? How many? There'll be testimonials of impact. So as I round up, so what is significance? I asked at the beginning, what is significance? As I said, it's alignment with purpose. Significance is the meaningful impact your life creates beyond yourself. Success is about yourself. Remember, Maslow, self-actualization. But even at 71, Maslow realized that there was still more. There was more. He added transcendence. So significance lies in that area of transcendence, of purpose, anything that goes beyond yourself. That is where significance lies. I like what Marshawn Evans says. She says, if you're trying to find your purpose, one way of looking at it is your superpowers, which would be the gift God has given you. For me now, is development. And other people's super problems, things that when they come to you, they're like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Honestly, my life is transformed. That is where purpose sits. Where your gift meets that person's problem. That is where purpose sits. So it lies in the intersection between your gift and then other people's purpose. I round up my teaching session. with this, I was listening to a message recently, Kenneth Copeland. He said this word, and I thought, how apt, because we're talking about significance, right? And he says, the will of God for your life is your wealthy place. The will of God. That's the plan of God for you, your purpose, your whatever He created you for. That is your wealthy place. That is where you find significance, you will find success, because you can't be significant without being successful in that area that kind of you are building on. You'll find significance, you'll find success, you'll find safety. I like to say that purpose is a safe place. If you're looking for safety, be within God's will. You're untouchable. If you're aligned with purpose, you're untouchable. Be in line with why He created you, because He does not repent. He will not create you and say, okay, I'm just, no. It's when you are not in alignment that you leave yourself open. So the will of God, God's plan for you, God's purpose, in it there's significance, in it there's safety, in it there's success, in it there's health. Audrey shared yesterday, it wasn't her time, and she will long live to fulfill the purpose of God in her life. Her health is sealed because there's work. She's doing what the Lord has called her to do. In it, in God's will, God's purpose, there's wealth. In it, there's life, because it keeps you alive for a reason. In it, there's fulfillment. Aristotle calls it flourishing. Eudaimonia, he calls it. It's flourishing. It's a state of well-being. Everything is found in purpose. And that is why significance then looks more like, what I do to bless other people. So with that, I will round up and hand over to my co-host, Mr. Emeka Wani.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for all that. You know how sometimes we say, teach me something like I'm 5 years old. I think that's how the way you broke it down with the
Thank
pictures
you.
and the stages. It's one of those things you look at and you think like, why don't I know this already? Right? Because we see these different experiences. And even from like the hidden patterns, I'm sure we all have those hidden patterns, but like we're just not able to piece it together. So I think this really helps us, go from stage to stage, and seeing the pictures as well really just shows that growth and what God has done in your life, and what He, by God's grace, He will do in all of ours. I hope we're all able to take from that. And just to corroborate one thing, obviously growing up with you and seeing how you entered your purpose and your gifts. I remember I was a young kid when you had your store, your shop,
Yes.
Feminique. But I remember when you started Meadowhall, you realized your talent, and then it became a gift. And I remember how you were always, your brain was always on, you were always working, you'd be working all hours without getting tired. You were just so excited.
Yeah.
I remember when you started Meadowhall Group on a sheet of paper in your room in London, and you're just like, oh, like this is how I want to start a Meadowhall Group, things like that. And so that was just how someone is when they're working in their purpose and utilizing their gifts. So just a few questions before we round up, then I'll open some to the house. I believe we have some time.
Yes.
So the first one, just on the whole idea of a talent versus gift. So like you've spoken about the difference between the two. So for us listening today, like, how would you explain that difference, as specifically as you can? And how did you recognize that gift shift you from success to significance?
Okay. All right. Thank you for that. So I think the easiest way, because a lot of people mistake talent for gift. Yeah. And they are tied, they are linked. Now, talent, if it to simplify it, talent is what you do. It can be developed. You can grow it. You can develop. It's a skill. So teaching is a talent. Education is actually a talent. Leadership is a talent. Those things that you can determine that, okay, I want to hone my skills here. It's what you do. Is teaching is the action that you take, that's talent. You say gift is that thing, is that unique thing you carry. It's a unique grace that you carry. I like to say that a unique grace that you carry that the world needs. That's why even when we're giving gifts, you don't give us, of course, we give ourselves gifts sometimes, but most of the time, gifts are given to people. So your gift is usually that thing, unique thing that you carry that the world needs. So most of the time, it will be applicable in different environments. If I say my gift is just teaching and I teach at Meadowhall, that's limited to where I am. That's why it's a talent. But with a gift, you can operate it across different environments. So developmental gift, I can coach and I'm helping you develop, even though I don't even know your industry. Developmental gift, I can coach leaders, I can train leaders, I can mentor leaders. They're not in school, they're not even in education. So that gift, something that you do that people acknowledge, like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. You don't know what you did for me. And sometimes because you do it with ease, most of the time, you're not even aware that it's something huge. You're like, oh, really? So for me, it was identifying it was it was like I found gold. I don't know. It was like I was on a high for like 2 days. I was on such a high for like 2 days that now it all makes sense. Now I know where everybody might be doing something. I'm not going to do it. It's not in my lane. I'm not interested. It does not resonate with me. Now I understood why law never resonated with me. Even though at that time, if lawyers are like, you want to go into education, how can you leave law for education? Now I understand because there's nothing developmental about it for me. So you see, getting to that place where you understand that thread that cuts across everything you do, it is much more than $1 million. You feel so like loved that God looked at you and he identified you like the word of God in I think Jeremiah. Before I formed you, I knew you and ordained you for something. That he knew you so much, he loved you so much, he had already put something inside of you that when you use it, it glorifies his name. That is it. So talent is what you do. Gift is what you carry that the world needs, is what you give out to some other people that blesses them. And it's a way that you can multiply impact because it's not restricted to just one area. I hope that answered your question.
Yes, it does perfectly. A few people have mentioned in the
Yes.
chat, if you can just move your camera slightly, like your laptop,
Oh.
distance, so they can. Yeah, it's fine.
Oh my God! So
Because
you
we
have
could
to
see
see
like
me all through.
no, we could see you. We could see you just like
Okay,
your yeah, just have your face. Okay, so the
Okay.
next one, so as you do with others as well, just like a redemption question, because again, to get to this point of significance, there must have been a lot of challenges along the way. So I'd just like to know, was there a moment in your journey that felt like a setback or disappointment at the time, but it later became a turning point towards like your eventual significance?
Right. So yeah, I would say I think when I was searching, and I practiced law for 14 years. And when eventually I decided to change careers, I felt really bad. I felt, wow, I wasted 14 years. That was my initial feeling. I wasted 14 good years. Where do I start from? It was, for me, because I didn't find that thing soon enough. I remember starting my PhD at age 48. People would have done PhD in their 20s, 30s. 48 was when I started. I did my PhD into my early 50s. So there are times that I thought, oh, wow. But then again, everything I have done, looking back, all of the things I've done have been a blessing. and have really helped me. Because even when I came into education, I never approached it the same way. People who say, oh, I studied education, which is not a bad thing. I had both. I had the education and I had my legal mind. And for the lawyers on the platform, we know there is no industry a lawyer goes to. There's just the way our brains have been taught. There's a way we think, the structure, the systems. You do whatever you do. That legal knowledge has honestly been a blessing. And because I remember years ago, before my dad went to be with the Lord, one day my dad said, he said, oh, because he also encouraged me to change to law at that time. I lived in the university. He was a senior member of the university. Changing wasn't that much of a big deal. And he said to me once, and he said, oh, if only, I had gone straight into education or had not changed, because I did education for 1 year. And I said, Dad, honestly, it was a blessing for me. It was a blessing for me. So the way I approach life, the way I even this develop the way I think, law had a contributory part to it. And I always joke that who knows if your dad would have married me as a teacher. So,
Yeah, no, yeah,
I'm
so
just
I
teasing
always wonder that
anyway.
as
He would have
I always
married
wonder
me
that
anyway. So, but then, it ended up being a blessing. Studying law first at that time, or even the businesses I did. Now I understand. Now let me quickly bring this in. Now I understand why having a shop wasn't such, because I kept thinking at some point that, okay, but that was also business. I was running a store. It was also business. But now I'm in education. It's still a form of business. Why is one satisfying and the other isn't? Because running a store is not developmental. There is no potential I'm developing. I'm selling to clients. But what I do now is developmental. So, but the idea of running a business, it helped me. It really helped me. The knowledge from running those businesses, my side hustle, albeit. They also, at the end of the day, everything works together for good for me.
Yeah, no, I always wondered that if you felt, you had wasted time, but the way I look at it as well,
Yeah.
I feel, especially if you're walking with God, I feel these things end up working their way, like working together for his good. Because, for instance, if you didn't go through all that, you wouldn't be here telling us this story now. You would be an example for how you move from, talent to the and success to the significance phase. So all these things are part of the journey. And
I dare say, so sorry, Emeka, I also wanted to say that is exactly why God gave me the instruction He's giving me with TBN. Because where that, I gave that picture of where your purpose meets your gifts and people's problem. God made it very clear to me. That's what He wants me to do, because I have gone through this journey, finding purpose. And also, a lot of people are trying to find out, how do the super problem for a lot of people, especially women, is my career. How can I scale? How can I find it? Meanwhile, God took me through this, so then I can be the answer to those so your superpower, your gift, becomes an answer to people's super problem. That is where purpose lies.
Okay, final question. Again about purpose and like purpose insight. So, for someone watching who feels successful but unsure about purpose, what is the first sign that their journey may be shifting from success toward significance?
Can you please repeat that?
Okay, so for someone watching who feels successful but unsure about purpose, what is the first sign that their journey may be shifting from success towards significance?
Okay, so I would say that transition period, that's where they are, most likely. If during the discovery period too, it can be quite unsettling, because you are thinking, what am I going to do? Why am I here? Kind of thing. So that can be quite unsettling. For somebody who is watching and thinking that, I want you to just, having listened to my story, I've given you a roadmap, I've given you a guide to use. There's a bit unsettling when you are trying to find. And then I've told you how to actually hone into success, at least knowing your talent and all that. But that shift is where most of us are, in terms of, okay, I'm moving, I'm getting, how do I find purpose? How do I move to the next? What's this more that I'm looking for? It is in spending that time with the person that created you so that he can direct you to that thing that he put inside of you that you will build on in order to, achieve purpose, significance, greater heights of influence. So it is, don't be worried. I would say just calm, just cool. Know that there is a way. I have spoken, I've tried to break it down. And thank you, Emeka. I like what you said, that it's broken down in such a way that even a 5-year-old, that is, again, without sounding immodest, that is the teaching skill, because I like to take complex things and break it down. So I have done this. We have been inspired, and the beautiful story of Audrey and Otto. And I've also given you tools. Don't be worried. Just calm down. Go back to the manufacturer, that is your God. He will reveal it to you. Purpose is not being constructed right now. It is there. You have to uncover it. We don't find purpose. We uncover purpose. So it's there. Just spend time. Talk to people. Like I said, for me, my sweet spot, part of it, how I'm wired, is to help people understand purpose. I'm not the only one. There are many people that can help you that, okay, how do I find this purpose? Yes, talk to people, get mentors, but no matter what you do, don't be worried, but be intentional about that. And I hope that answered that question.
It does. Thank you so much. I don't know if we had time for, do we have any time for questions
we
from the
can.
house?
Yes, I'm going to stop
Okay.
sharing, and I
Okay.
will just introduce. Yes. Please go
Okay.
ahead. Yeah, I'm happy to answer
Okay.
some questions.
So just opening up to the
We're
house.
rounding
I'm
up
sure
in
you'll be
5
able to see on your end, right? If who's raising up their hand. I think I can see this.
Maybe you should please. Yeah, I
Okay.
can't. I don't
Okay.
want to do this page. Yeah.
No problem.
I'll
So if there are
take
any,
more questions, as many questions, then I'll go back and answer them.
okay.
5 minutes. Go
Okay.
ahead.
So does anyone have any questions
Okay,
or
anybody,
any?
any hands up?
Okay,
Okay,
I can see one from,
yes.
yes.
Okay, Chiku.
Yes.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes,
we can.
Hey, good evening, ma'am. My name is Ogechukwu Uzozie, and I'm in Lagos right now. So I wanted to ask, because you said you started up as a lawyer, then before you transition into teaching. I am a little bit confused because I happen to be a teacher, and aside teaching, I also I'm into teen coaching and mentoring. But at times, because I have to keep my 6 to 5 job as a teacher, I find it hard, switching from teen coaching or going back to the classroom. So my question actually is, which one of them is my gift and which one is my talent? I'm trying to go up down because I have my baby here and he's not allowing me do anything. So I will just mute myself.
Okay. So which one is your gift? Which one is your talent? You said you're a teacher, I believe. I think did you say you're a teacher, Ogechuku?
Yes, ma, I'm a teacher.
Okay, but you also coach.
Yes, ma.
Okay. So you are now trying to decide which one is your gift, which one is your talent.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So it's not, you see, again, I've taken you through a roadmap, a guide. I'm not, unfortunately, going to be the one to say to you, this is your gift. You have to do that work the same way I did. But I will say to you clearly, teaching is a talent, but it can also be, there are teaching gifts in the Bible. Do you understand? So you have to take that time to look at it and say, okay, this, and if you're a coach already, that is already telling me something, because coaching is a way of teaching. You're trying to help people get unstuck where they are stuck, right? You are trying to, you said you coach teenagers, if I believe. So there's already a thread I can see there, but I don't think it's in my place. And of course, except we spend a lot of time together, I need to then walk you through how to understand and move from talent to gift. But I explained before, talent is what you do. Gift is that unique thing that you have to offer to the world, where you are solving their problem. Teaching, you are teaching in a school, is a localized thing, but coaching is something you can do with so many other people. So I think that between coaching and teaching, I think is already clear to me. Coaching is much more way of the gift, but coaching is an expression of a deeper gift. Coaching is an expression, it's an outlet. Do you understand? So you still need to find what that is. For me, developing. So I use coaching to develop people. I use mentoring. Do you understand? So it's not, I can't say this is it. It takes time and you must be ready to put in the work. All right. But I think there's still a link already. And I'm sure that, the Lord will reveal exactly that thread that ties everything together. He will reveal it to you. Okay, Chick. So I'm going to take, there's blessing.
Next
go
was
ahead.
blessing, yes.
And then online.
Olayinka.
And I think after that, 4 minutes more and we'll.
And one person is just asking how to join your mentoring program. So I don't know if you can.
We will put that up. Gigi, you can put up the ABL and or just
Okay.
your number so people can reach you.
So
Okay. Blessing, please go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, and thank you very much once again.
Oh my
So my
gosh.
name is Blessing, and
Yeah.
I'm an ERP specialist. So I'm
You're
asking this
what? I didn't get
question.
that, please.
I am an ERP specialist, SAP
E-
consultant. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So my question is, in periods of career transition,
Yes.
what do you advise? Like, what strategies can I use to optimize maybe skill development and professional networking, while I'm still trying to maintain long-term personal resilience and life balance? I don't know if you get it.
So you want to transit. How do you go from one career to the other while still maintaining work-life balance and showing up where you're working, kind of thing?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. So it's achievable. What I did was I was still a lawyer practicing, for quite a while. After a while, I had my own chambers. So maybe a bit different because my time was mine, But what I did immediately, I realized that this was where my talent was, And immediately I started attending trainings. And trainings don't need to affect your work. I started attending lots and lots of trainings in education. I remember at that time, I would go for a training and I'll probably be the only school owner there. Teachers. Because at that time, school owners weren't feeling they needed to train, but I was searching. So trainings. There are lots of trainings now. You can even do self-paced learning, go on Coursera, whatever platform, Udemy, do a lot of training because you need to test the waters. You're not just going to go into something, oh gosh, it's not this one again. You know what I mean? So yes, keep doing your work. Never rob your employer of their time. Keep doing your work. Find time to go for trainings when you're on leave, over the weekend, whatever, continue to train. Then I decided that I wanted the qualification as well, it was intense, Blessing. It was intense because here was I running a full business, but I was going to school. I was learning. I went back to university in terms of, virtual. But I was in the UK, University of Nottingham and then University of Leicester. It was intense. It was a very difficult period, but the passion I had for what I discovered about myself, which was education, kept me going. There were periods that I wanted to. I remember when I was doing my PhD as a full-time business owner. Oh my gosh. There were times I would be in my study like that. I couldn't go back. I couldn't go forward. It was intense. I remember my brother, I don't know if he's on the platform today. He's a doctor. He said to me one day, he said, Kenny, how do you relax? And I didn't have any answer. I wasn't watching TV. I was working. So it is part of what you're going to do. I know work-life balance, you will still within that, we now call it work-life integration. And find a way to integrate everything. When whatever you can do at home, technology exists now. Use your support system. Yeah, use your support system. If you have help, if you live in Nigeria, you have help, you have a driver, you don't try and do everything. Don't try to be that superwoman at this time, but it will cost you something. It will cost you something. That's that. I will not lie to you about that. It will cost you something. So you need to sit back, prioritize, use a lot of, there's so many frameworks for prioritization, prioritize, delegate, support system, use technology, but it will be intense, but it's going to be worth it. When you get to that place of purpose, that place of significance, it's just beautiful. It's so fulfilling. I hope that answered your question, Blessing.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
All
All
right.
right, thank you. So just two more, so we
Two
can.
more, and that's it. Yes.
Okay. So Olayinka and then Jonathan.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Olayinka.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay.
Yes.
Good evening, ma.
Good
Yeah,
evening.
thank you. Thank you so much. Yesterday, today, I have my notepad, but I was not able to write anything. I couldn't concentrate on listening and writing. I just was mopping everything up. Now, something was on my mind since yesterday. Towards the end, you tried with a
The
comment.
line is not clear. I can't hear you properly, but
Hello? Hello?
yes,
Can you
Yeah,
hear me now?
it's a bit muffled.
it's muffled. Are you using
Um,
an
Yeah, thinking I should remove the headphone then.
yes, for now, yes.
Okay, sorry. Okay.
Please quickly, or should I call people?
Can you
have
hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So quickly, from yesterday you were talking about trying to differentiate between people of faith and those who are not of and all that. I understand a balance, but I want to ask you,
Yes.
especially during that burning
Bush.
fire, wilderness experience and all that, there must be a role that is very significant. You going to God. I believe there must be, because in all of this, finding purpose is not easy without God. You didn't cover it. While you were talking, you kept making reference to God
Absolutely.
gave this, God gave that. So I like you to speak more to that, because purpose can be so scattered all over the place. God is
Mm,
still the pathfinder. What did you
yeah.
do? How did you align with God? How did God really take your hand through that process? We'd like to hear more of that.
Okay, so I'm very unapologetic about my faith, as Audrey is. Ought to mention God. I don't think anybody that will come here today would say, "Oh, I did this by myself." And there's no point hiding your secret. My secret source is God. I did mention though the reinvention. I mentioned the fact that it was during my sabbatical. I'm talking literally within the past 2 years or 3 years. I had time. Burning bush, if you remember the account of the burning bush, it was literally Moses stepping back and saying, let me go and see what's going on here. So it is a time of reflection. It's a time of stepping back from your busyness and reevaluating things and leaning in to what God is saying. He would always give you. So that was what happened. It was during this period of sabbatical. And God will use different things to catch your attention. For me, there's been the restlessness and all that. And then there was a lot of pain for me. And then my children needed me. And I had to step away. It was during that time I mentioned it. I said, hanging out with Jesus, HOWH. I called it, I would consistently, apart from my normal prayers and whatever, I will spend time, just me and God. I wasn't at that time saying God was my purpose. No, it was just in the place of fellowship. Please, God, whoever that is, please mute. It was just in the place of fellowship. Yeah, is that Olayinka? It was in the place of just hanging out with him. It wasn't that I came here and I was thinking, God, oh yeah, what's my purpose? No, he would just be downloading, because you see, you can hear him better at that time. Because I was intentional, I was spending dedicated time with him just to learn from him. I was reading a lot, because he will not speak to you through nothing. It is garbage in, garbage out. If you have nothing inside, he's not going to speak with you. So I was reading a lot, spending a lot of time in his presence, reading the word a lot, listening to messages. That period that I just was hanging out with him, things began to come together. And I read a life-changing book. It's called Believe Bigger. Everybody needs to read that book. That's the Mershon Evans Daniel that I've quoted a lot. I think it was life-changing. Believe Bigger. I was weeping. I was crying. I'm like, this is it. This is it. You know, so you reading, fellowshipping with him, asking questions. He does not, you know, that's why we don't say that we are finding purpose. Why would he, you know, allow you to just be going? You said purpose is scattered. It's not. It's not. It is hidden because it's precious. Anything precious is not left on the surface. Jesus. Cooper, maybe you have to mute now.
Okay.
You know, anything precious, if you have jewelry or anything precious to you, do you just leave it out there? No, it's hidden because it's precious. It's hidden because if you see the magnitude of what God would have you do, you will run away. So he reveals it in bits and pieces, gradually. So that's why you need to uncover it. But if you don't step aside, as Moses did with the burning bush, you would literally live your life and get old, and you were just in talent. You were just on the level of success. So what did I do? That was it. I was just in his presence. And as I was in his presence, reading, you know, developing myself, being intentional, I began to ask the right questions. And the day that I really found that what ties everything together for me is my passion to grow people, to help them see what they have not even seen in themselves. I told you, to sleep for 2 days was hard. It's like, God, the feeling is indescribable. So you just have to be intentional and spend time with the manufacturer. Why would somebody manufacture something and you won't, when you don't know how to use it? You go back to what's this button for? What is that light to do? That's how it works. I hope that answered your question, Yinka. We take Jonathan, and that's it. Jonathan.
Okay,
Yinka,
last one.
Yinka, is that okay? Oh, I think people are muted now.
Yeah, so last one, Jonathan.
It's okay, but thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay, Jonathan. I love to answer people's questions. Jonathan, anything from you? And I love so many comments here. Someone said her burning bush experience was the loss of her third son. And she's healing. And the Lord will perfect that healing. And that pain will be turned to will be used. It doesn't do bad, but the Lord will, through that pain, he's going to use it for his glory. In the name of Jesus. So sorry, Grace, about that. Okay, please go ahead, Jonathan, the last speaker.
Good evening, Dr. Umwani. And good evening, Mr. Emeka. Mine isn't a question anyways. It's a kind of contribution. I'm actually a teacher at LPSS.
Please go ahead.
All right, so I think I've been blessed so far. You know, you took your time to really explain some of these words that are crucial to our growth. You mentioned gift, you mentioned talent, and you mentioned purpose.
Yeah.
And I've come to realize that without you demystifying, explaining these keywords that are very important in one's life. I understand that purpose is something that we need to really consult our maker
Absolutely.
to understand it. We can't just do things believing that that is a purpose. We have to confirm with our maker that this is what our purpose in life is. And I'm very, very appreciative. And I want to say thank you so much for all the opportunities you have given us on this platform. I've been listening to each time I hear Dr. Wani is holding a seminar, a meeting. I'm always eager to join. And I want to say
so
thank you once
happy.
again. I'm really
Thank you.
blessed.
You're
All right.
welcome. That's Jonathan, I think. Thank you so much for all you do. I like to say to teachers, thank you for your service. Thank you for your service. And yes, purpose, there's the universal purpose to glorify our Father, your creator. And then your life's purpose is, how do I glorify him? How do I find that thing that is in me, that he has wired in me, that brings him purpose? Joseph in the Bible was wired to be a leader. He found it in a dream before anything. So it was already there. And at the end of the day, he saved a whole nation from famine. He helped his family. Queen Esther, the same. She was already wired that she will be a deliverer. Yeah. So at the end of the day, you just have to continue to be with that God. He does not desire to confuse anybody. But we are often too busy with life, not just content with talent and making money. We never push through to where we get to the place of purpose, which is where significance lies. So I'm glad that you understand that. And so thank you, everybody. Thank you for listening. I've mentioned the 5 stages: discovery, talent. Along the line somewhere, there'll be hidden patterns. Don't neglect that. Then you will find oftentimes as a transition period, it doesn't have to be anything that's painful. Sometimes it is, but it just shifts. It makes you shift. And then you then begin to really understand that these are my gifts, and they're deeper than just the talent. And then using your gift, influence, higher levels of influence would happen. Significance comes to pass there. And that's it. And the name of the Lord is glorified in your life. And remember, purpose is your wealthy place. Significance is there, health is there, wealth is there, life is there, eudaimonia is there, flourishing. Thank you all, everybody. God bless you. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Emeka.
Thank you.
Proud of
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
Problem.
All right, bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye.
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 Thank you.
Bye.